I'm going to show you in this video how we can use our just created pentagon and try and put an image inside this instead of the little green box. I can't remember what color it was, yellow or whatever. So changing this yellow or blue background to a image. In our HTML here, we need to do a few more things. So we're going to keep our polygon here, but we're actually going to move it. So take this, no, just do a little bit more here. So up here, we're going to start adding even more to our up here. So in our SVG, we are going to give it an ID, and the ID is going to be image.bg, not BGs, but background for short for that. And we're going to just keep the width height here in this case. So this is still sort of the same, we just gave it an ID. Now we need to do more in our SVG before our polygon loads, because right now we need to tell the system what it needs to do. And in SVG there's something called DEFS, which is define or definitions. We're defining things in here. And in this case we're defining a pattern, and this pattern here, pattern, and we're going to give it an ID of the exact same as before, image background. And here we're going to assign where it needs to start. So x values is going to be 0. So again, using the coordination system, x value is going to be 0. The height of this part is going to be, whoops, I can't spell. Let's keep it at 100 like we have before, and width samesies, so 100. And here is the new part, not the new part, there's more than one new part, but here's an important part. This is something called pattern, and units. I have to spell this correctly. Pattern units, and this is basically we're telling the system, in this case we use something called user space on use. So this might seem weird, and maybe it is, but right now we're telling the system that give it an ID, give it a position and height width, and this pattern units is actually telling that the things we're going to put in this is going to be fitted correctly, basically. So it's not going to be blurred or too big. It's kind of like transforming it down so it fits into this pattern here. And again, now in here we can actually start putting in our image. So using this image width, and we're just again using 100, and we're using one height, which is, oops, not item height, height 100. In this case, and we're going to use an X-link, and an href, and we're going to use something here, http://placekitten.com 306, this is the size, and we're going to end image like this. So right now we have a set of definitions and the patterns in here, where we have a width. Now I did the same up here. Make sure that you do the same mistake as I did. So image width here, and inside the pattern we are putting our image, and that's almost all we need to do right now. Since we've been doing some fill with the yellow and background as well, we need to do this here as well. So in our CSS, just quickly go to this. We have a fill here, just remove this and remove this just to make sure it doesn't interfere. In our CSS here, down in our polygon down here, we are going to use fill, not fill, but fill. And we're going to use the URL, which we already know. And in this we're going to use, so remember this is a single quote and not a double quote. And now we're going to point this fill that we created. So instead of typing in yellow, we're going to type image background like this, end it like this, and have the rest of your text here. And we end our whoopsie daisy polygon like this. So polygon class pentagon, sorry, and then we have our points where it starts to go around, and our fill here is the URL, so it's kind of linking to my class, my ID called image dash BG, which is up here. This is my pattern, and inside this pattern we have an image. So let's try to see if this works. And it doesn't. So let's go check out what actually went wrong. So I located the error. I made a mistake up here in the first line where I typed in SVG ID image dash background. This is actually supposed to be BG dash fill instead. So that's just a small error on my behalf. And again, this up here was the only error. So click save again, go back to your browser and hit refresh. And now the kitten, as you can see, is down there. And because we still have our HTML from before with our hover, we can still see the stroke behind it is still being changed. So now we can actually start using a little bit more than we could with the clip path. So we can add a bit more interactivity. And in the next videos, I probably should say, we're going to look into how we can create this box with the mask and everything.